When maiden loves, she sits and sighs, she wanders to and fro. Unbidden teardrops fill her eyes, and to all questions she replies with a sad hey-ho. 'Tis but a little word, hey-ho, so soft is scarcely heard, hey-ho. An idle breath, yet life and death may hang upon a maid's hey-ho. An idle breath, yet life and death may hang upon a maid's hey-ho. When maiden loves, she mopes apart as almond droops on a tree. Although she keenly feels a smart, she cannot tell what ails her heart with its sad army. 'Tis but a foolish sigh, army, born but to droop and die, army. Yet all the sense of eloquence lies hidden in a maid's army. Yet all the sense of eloquence lies hidden in a maid's army. Yet all the sense of eloquence lies hidden in a maid's
Mistress Merrill.
Oh, it's you, is it? You may go away if you like, because I don't want you, you know.
Haven't you anything to say to me?
Oh, yes. Are the birds all caged? The wild beasts all littered down? All the locks, chains, bolts and bars in good order? Is the little ease sufficiently uncomfortable? The racks, pincers and thumb screws all ready for work? You brute.
These allusions to my professional duties are in doubtful taste. I didn't become an head jailer because I like head jailing. I didn't become assistant tormentor because I like assistant tormenting. We can't all be sorcerers, you know. You brought that upon yourself.
Colonel Fairfax is not a sorcerer. He's a man of science and an alchemist.
Well, whatever he is, he won't be one for long, for he's to be beheaded today for dealings with the devil. His master nearly had him last night when the fire broke out in the Beauchamp Tower.
Oh, how I wish he'd escaped in the confusion. But take care. There's still time for a reply for his petition for mercy.
I'm content to chance that. This evening at 7:30. Ah!
You're a cruel monster to speak so unfeelingly of the death of a young and handsome soldier.
Young and handsome? How do you know he's young and handsome?
Because I've seen him every day for weeks past, taking his exercise on the Beauchamp Tower.
Curse him.
There. I believe you're jealous of him now. Jealous of a man I've never spoken to. Jealous of a poor soul who's to die in an hour.
I am. I'm jealous of everybody and everything. I'm jealous of the very words I speak to you, because they reach your ears, and I mustn't go near them.
How unjust you are. Jealous of the words you speak to me? Why, you know as well as I do that I don't even like 'em.
You used to like 'em.
I used to pretend I liked 'em. Was mere politeness to comparative strangers.
I don't believe you know what jealousy is. I don't believe you know how it eats into a man's heart, and disorders his digestion, and turns his interior into boiling lead. Oh, you are a heartless jade to trifle with the delicate organisation of the human interior. When jealous torments rack my soul, my agonies I can't control. Oh, better sit on red-hot coals and love a heartless jade. The red-hot coals will hurt, no doubt, and red-hot coals in time die out. But jealousy you cannot rout, its fires will never fade. It's much less painful on the whole to go and sit on red hot coal till you're completely flayed, or ask some kindly friend to crack your wretched bones upon the rack, than love a heartless jade, than love a heartless jade. Kerchief on your neck of snow I look on as a deadly foe. It goeth where I may not go, and stays there all day long. The belt that holds you in its grasp is to my peace of mind a rasp. It claspeth what I may not clasp, correct me if I'm wrong. It's much less painful on the whole to go and sit on red hot coal till you're completely flayed, or ask some kindly friend to crack your wretched bones upon the rack, than love a heartless jade, than love a heartless jade. The birth at breakfast on your lip, I would I had him in my grip. He sippeth where I may not sip, I can't get over that. The cat you fondle, soft and sly, he lieth where I may not lie. We're not on terms, that cat and I. I do not like that cat. It's much less painful on the whole to go and sit on red hot coal till you're completely flayed, or ask some kindly friend to crack your wretched bones upon the rack, than love a heartless jade, than love a heartless jade. Or ask some kindly friend to crack your wretched bones upon the rack, than love a heartless jade. But a year is not so spent, and our days are not so faded, but that we with one consent, were our loved land invaded, still would face afar and foe, as in days of long ago. Still would face afar and foe, as in days of long ago. As in days of long ago, as in days of long ago. Still would face afar and foe, as in days of long ago.
the porters, gathered like the valiant soldiers, bringing merry focus steady. In their mild days of merry,
Good day to you, Sergeant.
Good day, Dame Carruthers. Busy today?
Busy, aye. The fire in the Beecham last night has given me work enough. A dozen poor prisoners, Richard Colfax, Sir Martin Byfleet, Colonel Fairfax, Warren the preacher-poet, and half a score others, all packed into one small cell, not 6 feet square. Poor Colonel Fairfax, who's to die today, is to be removed to number 14 in the White Tower, that he may have his last hour alone with his confessor. And I've to see to that.
Poor gentleman. He'll die bravely. I fought under him 2 years since. He valued his life as if it were a feather.
He's the bravest, the handsomest, and the best young gentleman in England. He twice saved my father's life, and it's a cruel thing, a wicked thing, and a barbarous thing that so gallant a hero should lose his head. For it's the handsomest head in England.
For dealings with the devil. Aye, if all were beheaded who dealt with him, there'd be busy doings on Tower Green.
You know very well that Colonel Fairfax is a student of alchemy. Nothing more, nothing less. But this wicked tower, like a cruel giant in a fairy tale, must be fed with blood. And that blood must be the best and bravest in England. It's not good enough for the old blunderbore.
Silence, you silly girl. You know not what you say. I was born in the keep, and I've grown grey in it, and please God, I shall die and be buried in it. And there's not a stone in its walls that is not as dear to me as my own right hand. When our gallant Norman foes made our merry land their own, and the Saxons from the Conqueror were flying, at his bidding it arose in a panoply of stone, a sentinel, unliving and undying. Insensible, I trow, as a sentinel should be, though the queen to save her head should come eschewing. There's a legend on its brow that is eloquent to me, and it tells of duty done and duty doing. The screw may twist and the rack may turn, and men may bleed and men may burn. Oh, London town and its golden port, I keep my silent watch and ward.
The screw may twist and the rack may turn, and men may bleed and men may burn. Oh, London town and its golden port, I keep my silent Within its wall of rock, the flower of the brave hath perished with a constancy unshaken. From the dungeon to the block, from the scaffold to the grave, is a journey many gallant hearts have taken. And the wicked flames may hiss round the heroes who have fought for conscience and for home in all its beauty. But the grim old fortalice takes little heed of aught that comes not in the measure of its duty. The screw may twist and the rag may turn, and men may bleed and men may burn. The London town and its garden part, I keep my silent watch and watch. The screw may twist and the rag may turn, and men may bleed and men may burn. The London town and its golden court, I keep my silent
Father, has no reprieve arrived for the poor gentleman?
No, my lass, but there's one hope yet. Thy brother Leonard, who was a reward for his valour in saving his standard and cutting his way through 50 foes who would have hanged him, has been appointed a yeoman of the guard, will arrive today, and as he comes straight from Windsor, where the court is, it may be that he will bring the expected reprieve with him.
Oh, that he may!
Amen to that. The Colonel twice saved my life, and I'd give the rest of my life to save his. Wilt thou not be glad to welcome thy brave brother, with the fame of whose exploits all England is a-ringing?
Aye, truly, if he brings the reprieve.
And not otherwise?
Well, he's a brave fellow indeed, and I love brave men.
All brave men?
Most of them, I verily believe. But I hope Leonard will not be too strict with me. They say he's a very dragon of virtue and circumspection. Now, my dear old father is kindness itself, and
leads thee pretty well to thine own ways, eh? Well, I've no fears for thee. Thou hast a feather brain, but thou'rt a good lass.
Yes, that's all very well. But if Leonard is going to tell me that I may not do this and I may not do that, and I must not talk to this one or walk with that one, but go through the world with my lips pursed up and my eyes cast down like a poor nun who has renounced mankind, why, as I've not renounced mankind and don't mean to renounce mankind, I won't have it. There.
Nay, he'll not check thee more than is good for thee, Phoebe. He's a brave fellow, bravest among brave fellows. And yet it seems but yesterday that he robbed the lieutenant's orchard. A laughing boy but yesterday, a merry urchin blithe and gay, whose joyous shout came ringing out, unchecked by care or sorrow. Today a warrior all sun-brown, whose deeds of soldiery renown are all the boast of London town. A veteran tomorrow, today a warrior, a veteran tomorrow. Whereat my Leonard's deed sublime, a soldier's pulse beats double time, and brave hearts thrill, as brave hearts will, at tales of martial glory. I burn with flush of pride and joy, a pride unbidden by alloy, to find my boy, my darling boy, the theme of song and story. To find my darling boy, the theme of song and story. To find my boy, my darling boy, the theme of song and story.
Father! Leonard, my brave boy, I'm right glad to see thee, and so is Phoebe.
Aye, hast thou brought Colonel Fairfax's reprieve?
Nay, I have here a dispatch for the lieutenant, but no reprieve for the colonel.
Poor gentleman, poor gentleman.
I would I had brought better news. I'd give my right hand, nay, my body, my life to save his. Thou speak in earnest, my lad. Aye, father, I'm no braggart. Did he not save thy life? And am I not his foster brother? Then hearken to me. Thou hast come to join the yeomen of the guard. Well, none has seen thee but ourselves, and a sentry who took but scant notice of me. Now, to prove thy words, give me the dispatch. Get thee hence at once. Here is money, and I'll send thee more. Lie hidden for a space, and let no one know. I'll convey a suit of yeoman's uniform to the colonel's cell. He shall shave off his beard so that none shall know him, and I'll own him as my son, the brave Leonard Merrill, who saved his flag and cut his way through 50 foes who thirsted for his life. He'll be welcomed without question by my brother yeoman, I warrant that. Now, how to get access to the colonel's cell? The key is with thy sour-faced admirer Wilfred Shadbolt.
I think I can get anything I want from Wilfred. I think you may leave that to me.
Then get thee hence at once, lad, and bless thee for this sacrifice.
And take my blessing too, dear Leonard.
And thine, eh? Thy love is new-born. Wrap it up carefully, lest it take cold and die.
Alas, I waver to and fro, dark danger hangs upon the deed.
Dark danger hangs upon the deed. The steed is rash and well may fail, but ours are not the hearts that quail, the hands that shrink, the cheeks that pale, in hours of need. No, ours are not the hearts that quail, the hands that shrink, the cheeks that pale, the hands that shrink, the cheeks that pale, in hours of need. Ere I grieve to him I owe, my life is his, I count it naught. That life is his, so count it naught. And shall I reckon risks I run, when services are to be done, to save the life of such an one? Unworthy thought, unworthy thought. And shall we reckon risks we run, to save the life of such a one? Unworthy thought, unworthy thought. We may succeed, Who can foretell mayhem and hope? Mayhem and hope.
Nay, lass, be of good cheer. We may save him yet.
Oh, see, father, they bring the poor gentleman from the Beecham. Oh, father, his hour is not yet come.
No, no, they lead him to the Cold Harbour Tower to await his end in solitude. But softly the lieutenant approaches. He should not see thee weep.
Halt! Colonel Fairfax, my old friend. We meet but sadly. Sir, I greet you with all goodwill, and I thank you for the zealous care with which you have guarded me from the pestilent dangers which threaten human life outside. In this happy little community, death, when he comes, doth so in punctual and business-like fashion, and, like a courtly gentleman, giveth due notice of his advent, that one may not be taken unawares. Sir, you bear this bravely, as a brave man should. Why, sir, it is no light boon to die swiftly and surely at a given hour, and in a given fashion. Truth to tell, I would gladly have my life, but if that may not be, I have the next best thing to it, which is death. Believe me, sir, my lot is not so much amiss.
Oh, father, I cannot bear it.
My poor lass, nay, pretty one, why weepest thou? Come, be comforted. Such a life as mine is not worth weeping for. Sergeant Merrill, is it not? May I greet my old friend? Why, man, what's all this? Thou and I have faced the grim old king 12 times, and never has his majesty come to me in such a goodly fashion. Keep a stout heart, good fellow. We are soldiers. We know how to die, thou and I. Take my word for it. It is easier to die well than to live well, for in sooth I have tried both. Is life a boon? If so, it must befall, that death, whene'er he call, must call too soon. Though fourscore years he gave, yet one would pray to live another morn. What kind of plaint have I, who perish in July, who perish in July? I might have had to die, perchance in June. I might have had to die, perchance in June. Is life a thorn? Then count it not a whit. Nay, count it not a whit. Man is well done with it. Soon as he's born, He should all means essay to put the plague away, and I, war, or captured fugitive, my life was gladly give. I might have had to live another morn. I might have had to live another morn. And now, Sir Richard, I have a boon to beg. I am in this strait for no better reason than because my kinsman, Sir Clarence Poltwhistle, one of the Secretaries of State, has charged me with sorcery, in order that he may succeed to my estate, which devolves to him, provided I die unmarried, as thou wilt most surely do. Nay, as I will most surely not do, by your worship's grace. I have a mind to thwart this good cousin of mine. How? By marrying forthwith, to be sure. But, heaven have mercy, whom wouldst thou marry? Nay, I am indifferent on that score. Coming death hath made of me a true and chivalrous knight, who holds all womankind in such esteem that the oldest and the meanest and the worst favoured of them is good enough for him. So, my good lieutenant, if thou wouldst serve a poor soldier who has but an hour to live, find me the first that comes. My confessor shall marry us, and her dower shall be my dishonoured name, and 100 crowns to boot. No such poor dower for an hour of matrimony. A strange request. I doubt that I should be warranted in granting it. There never was a marriage fraught with so little evil to the contracting parties. In an hour she'll be a widow, and I a bachelor again, for aught I know. Well, I will see what can be done, for I hold thy kinsman in abhorrence for the scurvy trick he has played thee. 1,000 thanks, good sir. We meet again on this spot in an hour or so. I shall be a bridegroom then, and your worship will wish me joy. Till then, farewell. I am ready, good fellows. He is a brave fellow. It is a pity that he should die. Now, how to find him a bride at such short notice? Well, the task should be easy.
It's a man of jollity. Giant joke, jolly fine, give us of your quality. Come full fine, in river vanity, river runneth rapidly, into which we think the 2,000 sink. Give us an experiment in the art of merriment, into which we throw cock who doesn't crow, and short timidity, and with all rapidity. Give us grip and quiddity, willy-nilly-o, river none can modify, into which we throw, fool who doesn't qualify, cock who doesn't crow, and short timidity, and with all rapidity. Give us grip and quiddity, willy-nilly-o.
My masters, I pray you bear with us. We will satisfy you, for we are merry folk who would make all merry as ourselves. For look you, there is humour in all things, and the truest philosophy is that which teaches us to find it and make the most of it.
Hands off, I say, unmanly fellow!
Ha! Didst thou hear her say, hands off? Aye, I heard her say it, and I felt her do it. What then? Thou dost not see the humour of that? Aye, if I do, hang me. Thou dost not? Now observe. She said, hand off. Whose hands? Thine.
Of who? Of her. Why? Because she is a woman. Now, had she not been a woman, thine hands had not been set upon her at all. So, the reason for the laying on of hands is the reason for the taking off of hands. And herein is contradiction contradicted. It is the very marriage of pro with con, and no such lopsided union either, as times go, for pro is not more unlike con than man is unlike woman. Yet men and women marry every day with none to say, "Oh, the pity of it!" But I, and fools like me. Now, wherewithal shall we please you? We can rhyme you couplet, triolet, quatrain, sonnet, rondelet, ballad, what you will. Or we can dance you saraband, gondolet, carol, pimpernel, or jumping Joan.
Let us give them the singing farce of a merry man and his maid. Therein is song and dance too.
Aye, the merry maid! I have a song to sing. Oh.
Sing me your song,
It is sung to the moon by a lovelorn who fled from a mocking throng. Oh, it's a song of a merry man moping mum, whose soul was sad and whose glance was glum, who sipped no sup and who craved no crumb, as he sighed for the love of a lady. Lady, lady, misery me, lack-a-day-dee. He sipped no sup and he craved no crumb, as he sighed for the love of a lady.
I have a song to sing,
Sing me your song.
It is sung with a ring of the songs we sing, who love with a love lifelong. Oh, it's a song of a merry maid, peerly proud, who loved and lauded, who laughed aloud at the moon of the merry man moping mum, whose soul was sad and whose glance was glum, who sipped no sup and who craved no crumb, as he sighed for the love of a lady. Lady, lady, misery me, lack-a-day-dee. He sipped no sup and he craved no crumb, as he sighed for the love of a lady.
I have a song to sing. Oh.
Sing me your song,
It is sung to the knell of a churchyard bell and a doleful dirge ding-dong. Oh, it's a song of a popinjay bravely born, who turned up his noble nose with scorn at the humble merry maid peerly proud, who loved a lord and who laughed aloud at the moan of the merry man moping mum, whose soul was sad and whose glance was glum, who sipped no sup and who craved no crumb, as he sighed for the love of a lady. Lady, lady, misery me, lack-a-day-dee. He sipped no sup and he craved no crumb, as he sighed for the love of a lady.
I have a song to sing,
Sing me your song.
It is sung with a sigh and a tear in the eye, for it tells of a righted wrong. It's a song of a merry maid once so gay, who turned on her heel and tripped away from a peacock popinjay bravely born, who turned up his noble nose with scorn at the humble heart that he did not prize. So she begged on her knees with downcast eyes for the love of the merry man moping mum, whose soul was sad and whose glance was glum, who sipped no sup and who craved no crumb, as he sighed for the love of a lady. Lady, lady, misery, lack-a-day-dee. His days were o'er, he sighed no more, breathing in the love of a lady.
lucky man.
Best beware! I am armed!
Back! This is going too far.
Thou dost not see the humour of it, eh? Yet there is humour in all things, even in this.
What is this pother?
We sang to these folk, and they would have repaid us with gross courtesy under your honour's cunning.
Away with ye!
Clear the rabble!
Now, my girl, who are you, and what do you here?
May it please you, sir, we're two strolling players, Jack Point and I, Elsie Maynard, at your worship's service. We go from fair to fair, singing and dancing, and playing brief interludes, and so we make a poor living.
You too, eh? Are ye man and wife? No, sir, for though I'm a fool, there is a limit to my folly. Her mother, old Bridget Maynard, travels with us, for Elsie is a good girl. But the old woman is abed with fever, and we have come here to pick up some silver to buy an electuary for her. Hark ye, my girl, your mother is ill?
Sorely ill, sir.
And needs good food, and many things that thou canst not buy?
Alas, sir, it is too true.
Wouldst thou earn 100 crowns?
100 crowns? They might save her life.
Then listen. A worthy but unhappy gentleman is to be beheaded in an hour on this very spot. For sufficient reasons, he desires to marry before he dies, and he hath asked me to find him a wife. Wilt thou be that wife?
The wife of a man I've never seen?
Why, sir, look you, I am concerned in this, for though I am not yet wedded to Elsie Maynard, time works wonders. There's no knowing what may be in store for us. Have we your worship's word for it that this gentleman will die today? Nothing is more certain, I grieve to say. And that the maiden will be allowed to depart the very instant the ceremony is at an end? The very instant. I pledge my honour that it shall be so. 100 crowns? 100 crowns. For my part, I consent. It is for Elsie to speak.
How say you, maiden, will you wed a man about to lose his head? For half an hour you'll be a wife, and then the dowry's yours for life. A headless bridegroom wives use, if truth the poets tell. Most bridegrooms ere they marry lose both head and heart as well.
A strange proposal you reveal, it almost makes my senses reel. Alas, I'm very poor indeed, and such a sum is all we need. My mother, sir, is like to die, this money life may bring. Bear this in mind, I pray, if I consent to do this thing.
Though as a general rule of life I don't allow my promised wife, my lovely bride that is to be, to marry anyone but me. Yet if the fee is promptly paid, and needed well-earned grave, within the hour is duly laid, objection I will waive. Yes, objection I will waive. Temptation, no temptation, when we I may intend it, to shun whatever station, no fascination splendid, or for when I will give you, head over heels into you, head over heels, head over heels, head over heels into you, head over heels, head over heels, head over heels, right into you, head over heels, 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 head over heels.
And so, good fellow, you are a jester.
Aye, sir. Like some of my jests, out of place.
I have a vacancy for such an one.
Tell me, what are your qualifications for such a post?
Marry, sir, I have a pretty wit. I can rhyme you extempore, I can convulse you with quip and conundrum, I have the lighter philosophies at my tongue's tip. I can be merry, wise, quaint, grim, and sardonic, one by one, or all at once. I have a pretty turn for anecdote. I know all the jests, ancient and modern, past, present, and to come. I can riddle you from dawn of day to set of sun, and if that content you not, well on to midnight and the small hours. Oh, sir, a pretty wit, I warrant you. A pretty, pretty wit.
I jibe and joke, and quip and crank, for lowly folk, and men of rank. I ply my craft, and know no fear, but aim my shaft, and prince or pair, at peer or prince, at prince or peer, I aim my shaft, and know no fear. I've wisdom from the east and from the west, that's subject to no academic rule. You may find it in the jeering of a jest, or distill it from the folly of a fool. I can teach you with a quirk and by the mind, I can trick you into learning with a laugh. Oh, winnow all my folly, 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 and you'll find a grain or two of truth among the chaff. Oh, winnow all my folly, 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 and you'll find a grain or two of truth among the chaff. I can set a bracket quailing with a quip, the upstart I can wither with a whip. He may wear a merry laugh upon his lip, but his laughter has an echo that is grim. When they're offered to the world in merry guise, unpleasant truths are swallowed with a will. For he who'd make his fellow creatures wise should always gild the philosophic pill. For he who'd make his fellow creatures wise should always gild the philosophic pill.
And how came you to leave your last employ?
Why, sir, it was in this wise. My lord was the Archbishop of Canterbury, and it was considered that one of my jokes was unsuited to his Grace's family circle. In truth, I ventured to ask a poor riddle, sir. Wherein lay the difference between his Grace and poor Jack Point? His Grace was pleased to give it up, sir. And thereupon I told him that whereas his Grace was paid 10,000 a year for being good, poor Jack Point was good for nothing. 'Twas but a harmless jest, but it offended his Grace, who whipped me and set me in the stocks for a scurril rogue, and so we parted. I had as lief not take post again with the dignified clergy.
But I trust you are very careful not to give offence. I have daughters.
Sir, my jests are most carefully selected, and anything objectionable is expunged. If your honour pleases, I will try them first on your honour's chaplain.
Can you give me an example?
Say that I had sat me down hurriedly on something sharp. Sir, I should say that you had sat down on the spur of the moment. I don't think much of that. Is that the best you can do? It has always been much admired, sir, but we will try again. Well then, I am at dinner, and the joint of meat is but half cooked. Why then, sir, I should say that what is underdone cannot be helped. I see. I think that manner of thing would be somewhat irritating. At first, sir, perhaps, but use is everything, and you would come in time to like it. We will suppose that I caught you kissing the kitchen wench under my very nose. Under her very nose, good sir, not under yours. That is where I would kiss her. Would you take me? Oh, sir, a pretty wit, a pretty wit. The maiden comes. Follow me, friend, and we will discuss this matter at length in my library. I am your worship's servant. That is to say, I trust I soon shall be. But before proceeding to a more serious topic, can you tell me, sir, why is a cook's brain pan like an overwound clock? A truce to this fooling. Follow me. Just my luck. My best conundrum wasted.
'Tis done, I am a bride. Oh, little ring that bearest in my circlet all the gladness that lovers hope for and that poets sing. What bringest thou to me but gold and sadness? A bridegroom all unknown, save in this wise. Today he dies, today, alas, he dies. No tear and long-drawn sigh ill-fit a bride, no sadder wife than I the whole world wide. Ah me, ah me. Yet fates there be who would consent to lose the very rose of youth, the flower of life, to be in honest truth a wedded wife, no matter whose, no matter whose. Ah me, what profit we, oh maids subside, though gold should live if wedded love must die. Run, a widow I. Heaven, he is too young, too brave to die. Ah me, ah me. Yet wives there be so weary worn, I trow, that they would scarce complain, so that they could in half an hour attain to widowhood. No matter how, no matter how. Oh, weary wives, who widowhood would win, rejoice, rejoice that ye have time to win me in. Oh, weary wives, who widowhood would win, rejoice, rejoice, rejoice. Oh, weary, weary wives, rejoice.
'Tis an odd freak for a dying man and his confessor to be closeted alone with a strange singing girl. I would fain have espied them, but they stopped up the keyhole. My keyhole.
Wilfred, and alone.
Now, what could he have wanted with her? That's what puzzles me.
Now to get the keys from him. Wilfred, has no reprieve arrived?
None. thine adored Fairfax is to die.
Nay, thou knowest that I have naught but pity for the poor condemned gentleman.
I know that he who is about to die is more to thee than I, who am alive and well.
Why, that were out of reason, dear Wilfred. Do they not say that a live ass is better than a dead lion? No, I don't mean that.
Oh, they say that, do they?
It's unpardonably rude of them, but I believe they put it that way. Not that it applies to thee, who art clever beyond all telling.
Oh, yes, as an assistant tormentor.
Nay, as a wit, as a humorist, as a most philosophic commentator on the vanity of human resolution.
Truly, I've seen great resolution give way under my persuasive methods. In the nice regulation of a thumbscrew, in the 100th part of a single revolution, lieth all the difference between stony reticence and a torrent of impulsive unbosoming that the pen can scarcely follow. I am a mad wag.
Thou art a most high-hearted and delightful companion, Master Wilfred. Thine anecdotes of the torture chamber are the prettiest hearing.
I'm a pleasant fellow when I choose. I believe I am the merriest dog that barks. We might be passing happy together.
Perhaps. I do not know.
For thou wouldst make a most tender and loving wife.
I, to one whom I really loved. For there is a wealth of love within this little heart, saving up for I wonder whom. Now, of all the world of men, I wonder whom. To think that he whom I am to wed is now alive and somewhere, perhaps far away, perhaps close at hand, and I know him not. It seemeth that I am wasting time in not knowing him.
Now, say that it is I. Nay, suppose it for the nonce. Say that we're wed. Suppose it only. Say that thou art my very bride, and I thy cheery, joyous, bright, frolicsome husband, and that the day's work being done, the prisoners stored away for the night, thou and I are alone together, with a long, long evening before us.
It is a pretty picture, but I scarcely know. It cometh so unexpectedly, and yet, were I thy bride?
Aye, wert thou my bride?
Oh, how I would love thee!
Were I thy bride, then all the world beside were not too wide to hold my wealth of love. Were I thy bride, upon thy breast my loving head would rest, as on her nest the tender turtle dove. Were I thy bride, this heart of mine would be one heart with thine, and in that shrine our happiness would dwell. Were I thy bride, and all day long our life should be a song, no grief, no wrong should make my heart rebel. Were I thy bride, the silvery flute, the melancholy lute, were night owls who to my unwhispered coo. Were I thy bride, the skylark's trill were but discordant shrill to the soft thrill of wooing as I woo. Were I thy bride, rose's sigh were as a carrion's cry to lullaby such as I'd sing to thee.
were I thy bride. A feather's press were leaden heaviness to my caress, but then, of course, you see, I'm not thy bride.
No, thou not. Not yet. But Lord, how she wooed! I should be no mean judge of wooing, seeing that I have been more hotly wooed than most men. I have been wooed by maid, widow, and wife. I have been wooed boldly, timidly, tearfully, shyly, by direct assault, by suggestion, by implication, by inference, and by innuendo. But this wooing is not of the common order. It is the wooing of one who must needs woo me, if she die for it. Aye, if she die for it. The deed is so far safely accomplished. The sly boots, how she wheedled him. What a helpless ninny is a lovesick man. He is but as a lute in a woman's hands. She plays upon him whatever tune she will. But the colonel comes. I'faith, he's just in time, for the yeoman parade here for his execution in 2 minutes. My good and kind friend, thou runnest a grave risk for me. Tut, sir, no risk. I warrant none here will recognise you. You make a brave yeoman, sir. So, this ruff is too high, so, and the sword should hang thus. Here is your halbert, sir. Carry it thus. The yeoman come. Now, remember, you are my brave son, Leonard Merrill. If I may not bear mine own name, there is none other I would bear so readily. Now, sir, put a bold face on it, for they come.
Sergeant Merrill, is it true, the welcome news we read in orders? Thy son, whose deeds of daring do are echoed all the country through, has come to join the tower warders. If so, we come to meet him, that we may fitly greet him, and welcome his arrival here with shout on shout and cheer on cheer. Hurrah! 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 Ye tower warders, nursed in war's alarms, suckled on gunpowder and weaned on glory, behold my son, whose all-subduing arms have formed the theme of many a song and story. Forgive his aged father's pride, nor cheer his aged father's sympathetic tear. Hopeless he in time of peril, had of power, night was flower, welcome to the river's town. Forbear, my friends, and spare me this ovation. I have small claim to such consideration. The tales that of my prowess are narrated have been prodigiously exaggerated, prodigiously exaggerated. 'Tis marvellous wherever valor true is found, true modesty will there abound. Didst thou not, O Leonard Merrill, stand at lost in last campaign, rescue it at deadly peril, bear it safely back again? Leonard Merrill, at his peril, bore it safely back again. Didst thou not, when prisoner taken, and debarred from all escape, face with gallant heart unshaken, death in most appalling shape? Leonard Merrill, faced his peril, death in most appalling shape. Truly I was to be pitied, having but an hour to live. I reluctantly submitted, I had no alternative. Oh, the tales that are narrated of my deeds of daring do have been much exaggerated, very much exaggerated. Scarce a word of them is true, scarce a word of them is true. You, when brought to execution, like a demigod of yore, with heroic resolution, snatched a sword and killed a score. Leonard, in his peril, snatched a sword and killed a score. Then, escaping from the foeman, bolstered with the blood you shed, you, defiant, dreading no men, saved your honour and your head. Leonard, saved his peril, saved his honour and his head. True, my course with judgment shaping, favoured to my lucky star, I succeeded in escaping prison bolt and prison bar. Oh, the tales that are narrated of my deeds of daring do have been much exaggerated, very much exaggerated. Scarce a word of them is true, scarce a word of them is true. They are not exaggerated, not at all exaggerated, could not be exaggerated. Scarce a word of them is true. I beg your pardon.
Don't you know me? I'm little Phoebe.
Phoebe? Is this Phoebe? What? Little Phoebe? Who the deuce may she be? It can't be Phoebe, surely. Yes, 'tis Phoebe. Your sister Phoebe. Your own little sister, I speaks the truth. 'Tis Phoebe. Sister Phoebe.
Oh, my brother.
Why, how you've grown. I did not recognize you.
So many years. Oh, my brother.
Oh, my sister. Oh, sister. Oh,
your sister.
Aye, hug him, girl. There are three thou mayst hug, thy father and thy brother and myself. Thyself, forsooth. And who art thou thyself? Good sir, we are betrothed.
Or more or less, but rather less than more.
To thy fond care I do commend thy sister. Be to her an ever-watchful guardian, eagle-eyed, and when she feels, as sometimes she does feel, disposed to indiscriminate caress, be thou at hand to take those favours from her. Be thou at hand to take those favours from her.
Yes, yes, be thou at hand to take those favours from me.
To thy fraternal care, thy sister I commend. From every lurking snare, thy lovely charge defend. And to achieve this end, O grant, I pray, this boon. O grant this boon. She shall not quit thy side from morn to afternoon, from afternoon to night, from 7 o'clock to 2, from 2 to eventide, from dim twilight to 11 at night, from dim twilight to 11 at night. She shall not quit thy side. From morn to afternoon, from afternoon to 11 at night, she shall not quit thy side.
So aim your bow, I've grown so innocent as well, that if I'm left alone, the consequences fell no mortal can foretell. So grant, I pray, this boon. Oh, grant this boon. I shall not quit thy side from morn to afternoon, from afternoon to night, from 7 o'clock to 2, from 2 to eventide, from dim twilight to 11 at night, from dim twilight to 11 at night. I shall not quit thy side.
From morn to afternoon, from afternoon to 11 at night, she shall not quit thy side.
With brotherly readiness for my fair sister's sake, at once I answer yes, that task I undertake. My word I never break, I freely grant this boon, and I'll repeat my plight from morn to afternoon, from afternoon to night, from 7 o'clock to 2, from 2 to evening meal, from dim twilight to 11 at night, from dim twilight to 11 at night, that contract I will see.
From morn to afternoon, from afternoon to night, he freely grants this boon.
The prisoner comes to meet his doom. The block, the headsman and the tomb, the funeral bell rings to town. May heaven have mercy on his soul. My lord, I know not how to tell the news I bear. I and my comrades sought the prisoner's cell. He is not there. He is not there. They sought the prisoner's cell. He is not there. As before the prisoner we sought his cell in duty bound, the double gratings open were no prisoner at all we found. We hunted high, we hunted low, we hunted here, we hunted there. The man we sought with confusion had vanished into empty air. The man we sought with anxious care had vanished into empty air. And I, my trophy, yes, is dead. The man has vanished into air. As before the prisoner they sought his cell in duty bound, the double gratings open were no prisoner at all they found. We hunted high, we hunted low, we hunted here, we hunted there. The man we sought with confusion had vanished into empty air. The man we sought with anxious care had vanished into empty air. Astounding news, the prisoner fled. My life shall forfeit me instead. My lord, I did not set him free. I hate the man, my rival he. The prisoner gone, I'm all again. My life shall forfeit be instead. Who could have helped him to escape? My lord, I did not set him free.
Indeed, I can't imagine who. I've no idea at all, have you?
Of his escape, no traces lurk. Enchantment must have been at work.
What have I done? Oh, woe is me! He's escaped his wife, and he is free!
Oh, woe is you! Your anguish sink. Oh, woe is me, I rather think. Oh, woe is me, I rather think. Yes, woe is me, I rather think. Whatever tide you are his bride, and I am left alone bereft. Yes, woe is me, I rather think. Yes, woe is me, I rather think. Yes, woe is me. For frenzied fretting, despair they reign. My brain is cheated of its due. Who is the misbegotten knave? Who have contrived this deed to do? Let such event throughout the
Is life a boon? If so, it must befall that death, whene'er he call, must fall too soon. Though fourscore years he give, yet one would pray to live another morn. What kind of plaint have I, who perish in July, who perish in July? I might have had to die, perchance in June. I might have had to die, perchance in June. Is life a thorn? Then count it not a whit. Man is well done with it. Soon as he's born, he should or either say to put the plague away. And I were warned, poor captured fugitive, my life most gladly give, my life most gladly give. I might have had to live another more. I might have had to live another more. Is life a boon? Is life a thorn? Then count it not a whit. Man is well done with it. Soon as he's born, he should put the plague away. I might have had to live another